If watching HEMA videos actually made you good at sword fighting, you'd be already dangerous with a longsword. But let's not bullshit ourselves. You're not. And in this video, I will actually tell you why. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Michael Kozin, and I have over 2 years of experience with longsword in historical European martial arts. I fought in a countless sparrings. I've tested myself time and time again through just constant training and through real stress under the real pressure with fighting against another opponents. This topic matters me because a few years ago I was at the same place as you are, in the same shoes as you. I watched countless videos on HEMA, on longsword techniques, and I was thinking that I was progressing, right? I wanted to believe that I'm becoming better. But let's be honest, right? I didn't progress whatsoever. I just entertained myself through watching HEMA and feeling like I'm really working on something. And that's why also I created my free community called START SWORDFIGHTING, where I don't just explain things to you, I actually make you train it. I will help you out in training specific patterns and maybe some kind of intermediate techniques with a longsword in this community. Yes. So check out the link in the description. Point number 1. Watching creates the illusion of skill. So let's be completely honest with each other. I know that you want to feel progress. You want that quick dopamine on that you're actually progressing with something. But watching HEMA is not the same as training it. You're creating an illusion out of it. So on YouTube, you learn different names of cuts, of guards, some kind of master cuts like Zwerchhau or maybe Schildhau, but you don't use it. You're making your brain feel that you understand something, right? But you forget about one of the most important things, which is actually adding your body to the whole equation. So what I mean is that your body has never been actually tested doing these things that you're trying to learn. So it comes from our huge ego. Yes, you have a very huge ego and it's killing you in a way. You like to think that you're progressing, as I said, right? But you're bullshitting yourself through watching entertainment. You're not watching HEMA for progress. You're watching it for entertainment. And we need to break this cycle in you. That's what I had to do a few years ago when I started my sword fighting. I watched a lot of different YouTube channels about HEMA, right? And some of them you may already know, right? But the thing is, you have to train patterns before you train techniques. As I said, in each intermediate and advanced technique, there are patterns that repeat themselves, like precise footwork, precise timing, precise distance management to your opponent to make the technique actually work, right? To actually get the hit. Or even in defense, right? I've already talked about this in my previous videos. First things you have to do is to lower your ego. You're not an intermediate, you're just a beginner or even a newcomer. So you need to focus on the fundamentals. You don't experience these things, these fundamentals from the couch. You actually have to go through them. You have to show up, experience them for yourself, and then you will understand the context behind each of the intermediate and advanced techniques. Even as simple as downward cuts, you start to actually progress when you grab your nylon longsword or your steel one or your padded longsword, which I really recommend you. And then you start to see what it's really about, like how it feels. Point number 2 is training exposes what watching hides. Training really exposes your bad footwork, so your stiffness on footwork, your late response, so late timing, your bad distance management to your opponent, and just the overall stress under the pressure. You don't see these things from the couch. You really start to see them when a nylon longsword or a steel or even a padded longsword comes at your face. Point number 3 is watching is passive, but sword fighting is violent mentally. When you watch YouTube videos like guides on sword fighting, you can pause them, right? You can rewind them. You can check them out bit by bit, frame by frame, right? But in sword fighting, you don't have that fucking time. you don't have time for anything, because you only have time to act. You have time only to respond to your opponent in the right way, right? Sparring, real sparring against another human gives you no mercy. It gives you no mental space on to think what you have to do to defeat your opponent. There is no real time to choose your perfect move. There is no such thing as a perfect move in sword fighting. There is only correct moves, like the different variation of correct moves that you can do. And I'm advising you to stop thinking so much about advanced techniques. If your response time is way faster because you know a fundamental parry and riposte, or just getting out of the way from your opponent, so retreating from your opponent to defend yourself, or to attack him while decreasing the distance to him, then that's all that you really need, right? So in short, you have to make simple and fast decisions in sword fighting that you have to act upon right now. Even if you have some kind of perfect move in your mind, if you're just slightly too late to act on it, then you already lost your chance to do it. You already lost your tempo to make it happen. So if you still commit to it, then you will get punished by your opponent. In short, you have to act, because if you don't, you just simply get hit. And this gap is actually everything between just thinking and acting on it. Point number 4, why gamers and especially just people in general get trapped in this phase. You're amazing at consuming content. You recognize patterns very well, and you're even enhancing it if you're playing video games. I know it because I was one. And you may think that you're quick with your response by tapping a specific key when you're supposed to, right? Maybe to do some kind of perfect combo inside of video games. And you'll be right. You are quick, but only by tapping with one finger or a few fingers a keyboard or a pad. You're forgetting one crucial thing, that you're actually not fast and you're actually not quick when it gets to you actually moving, to you actually moving your whole body to do some kind of fencing action with a longsword, which is hard. Don't get me wrong, of course it's hard, but you have to remember to train your body by repeating these patterns. Then you will actually get faster and better with your fencing actions. Going back to video games, you're already perfect at choosing the optimal build for your character, like by playing the best meta character right now, and strategies that you can use to defeat your opponents, right? You know these things, you know this stuff, like the best systems, right? But sword fighting doesn't reward your planning. It doesn't reward your thinking in a long term. It rewards your real fast response with your body, with your muscle memory. It's all in here, not in here. It rewards your presence, it rewards your intention, and it rewards your commitment to sword fighting. So in this stage, this is where gamers actually evolve, or they just simply quit. Point number 5. When you finally train, everything changes. First of all, the first thing that you will experience when you start to train and to spar, the fear will come up. It will decide your actions, it will decide your moves. You may think that you're already good at maybe footwork or maybe some kind of simple strike at your opponent. But when the stress comes up, when the fear comes up, and when you don't have actually time to think about stuff, about plans, your best strategy, then you're then you start to, of course, lose. And that's completely normal, because even I at the beginning, like all of the newcomers are losing, right? They just can't get their mind to stop feeling and to actually commit to sword fighting. And also, your ego starts to die really fast, because you finally start to understand that you're not supposed to have this huge ego. In a way, you have to actually punish yourself for it. You may think that you're good at, and sometimes, like, fake it till you make it actually works, right? But you can't lie with your body moveset. You can't lie with your moves. So that's the thing that you have to actually work on. You have to focus on it. When you're fighting, you stop knowing how to fight and you actually start to do it yourself. And that's the huge difference. And this is actually the best and the fastest way to actually learn sword fighting, is by doing it. In a 10 rounds of sparring, you can learn so much more and so much quicker than you consuming like 100 videos about HEMA breakdowns of different techniques. So this is the real moment when sword fighting becomes real. And point number 6 is the simple truth, which is the whole core of this video. Watching someone training HEMA, someone breaking down different techniques, it's just for you to learn vocabulary. You just know the names of different cuts, different strikes, different guards, different defense, different footwork patterns, and so much more, right? But nothing more than that. The real fighting, the real sparring teaches you survival. It teaches you fast response. It actually teaches your body to respond in a correct way. Of course, after, I don't know, maybe 50, 100 rounds of sparring, you actually start to learn the correct patterns on how to respond correctly to your opponent to win against him, right? So you have to put in those reps. You have to train your body to do it. You have to train your muscle memory. It's the most important part that everyone likes to forget about. Yes, you of course can learn different intermediate techniques, but without the fundamentals, you can't really do it right. You may think that you're already on the level to actually do it correctly, but without, like I said, the real fundamentals, footwork patterns, like your fencing stance even, your longsword position, so the guard, and simple strikes and simple defense. This is what actually gets you to win in each sparring match, not fancy and perfect moves. So if your moveset is basic but it's versatile, like you're very good at your basic moveset, then you're making sure that you can win even 50% of your sparring matches. Just watching HEMA actually entertains you. Let's not bullshit ourselves. If you're not launching a video from YouTube to then get out from your couch right away and at least try to do some kind of thing that someone is telling you to do, then you're not actually learning. You're just entertaining yourself. And that's a huge difference. If you're not using that knowledge, then you're not actually learning. Do you know what I mean? But if you know that, for example, the best way for you right now as a newcomer or as a beginner is to get better in sword fighting is through learning and training footwork each day, then that's how you actually progress further, right? In isolation, you can train your footwork even without your longsword. You can just get into your fencing stance, of course, with your hand facing to the sky, with the palm of the hand facing to the sky, just working on your footwork, right? This is what actually changes you. You don't just become a swordsman by observing warriors without the learned fundamentals, what I mean. Of course, I'm a big advisor of copying your masters, of copying your champions, your favorite people that you look up to. But in order to do it, in order to actually copy them, you of course have to train the fundamentals first. You have to get good at fundamentals first to then get better with intermediate techniques and advanced technique, like thrusting, like as I said, Zwerchhau, like Schildhau, and so much more than that. Yeah, look, I'm not against YouTube because you are here right now, right? You're watching this video to maybe get motivated or to learn a thing or two, but that watching has to turn into training. It has to eventually turn into action, right? That's why I created my free community called Start Swordfighting, which is the perfect place for newcomers and beginners like you who want to start learning and training sword fighting. But of course, the best way for you to get through it is to go through the structured guide, the verified blueprint for beginners on what they have to focus on at the beginning, to then branch out to maybe different weapons, maybe to some kind of harder techniques, right? So that's why by joining, you can access the free longsword program for beginners on what to train, what to get, even without extreme fitness, without expensive gear, just the essentials like the fencing mask and the padded longsword. Of course, this is the feather schwert. It's the steel longsword for the full gear, but you're not on that level yet. My 80% of my total skill comes from training and sparring only with a sparring mask and with a padded longsword. And in this school community, I specifically help you out on getting these things and starting as quickly as possible, starting to train the sword fighting, just like your childhood imagination, right? But also you can access this brotherhood of guys who are on the same path of sword fighting as you. And there are also advanced guys who also like to help out beginners by giving them the golden feedback that any one of us needs, right? So yeah, check out the link in the description right now. And remember, always take the initiative.